Hey folks, welcome back to the bench. Well, I'm finally doing some RC stuff. Decided I'm going to work on my FPV goggles. Now these are a set of Quanum. They're from Hobby King. It's just a basic 4.3-inch screen, low-res screen. That comes, you put it all together, it comes with this foam box and a adjustable lens, Fresnel lens. It's a plastic lens that has the circles in it to do magnification, but I've modified it a bunch. The main modification I've made, which this stuff's not holding very good, but I added some old these are actually, I think, snowmobile goggles to it, so that it's actually more comfortable to wear, because my big nose, it just hurt because this thing rested on the nose. So my plan for today is to tweak on this a little bit more. See if I've got this strap, which I hot glued on. It's a little short, so I might take that off. But the main thing is to deal with this wiring nastiness, because they've got these RCA connectors on here, which go to from this plug goes into the monitor, and they're both the same gender, so you end up having to use a connector to connect the two together. But this is all extra weight that I don't need, so my plan is to cut all this crap off and replace it, either hardwire it directly, or other thing I was thinking of doing is maybe using some servo leads, some nice lightweight servo style leads. So get rid of the RCA connectors. This is power, and I think the yellow one is the input, and the white one I'm not sure what it's for. I thought one was for widescreen and one wasn't, but I'm going to modify it so I don't have these heavy connectors hanging off of here. Just put a little servo lead on there, connect it together, and save a little bit of weight. And as well, I'll probably cut this end off, extend it, and just directly attach a oh no, I can't do that. Well, we'll see, because this connector is spliced and it powers both the screen in the goggles and the receiver. So I just need to tidy it up a bit so that it's not as cumbersome, and hopefully even set it up, because normally I would just have my battery in my pocket, have this hanging down and throw it down into my pocket, but I'd rather just have a lighter battery mounted up right on top, so this would come up and plug into a battery and into here. So that's my plan for today, so let's get started. Okay, I dug through some of my batteries, and I think the battery I'm going to try using is this guy right here. It's meant to be a transmitter pack, but I bought it and it seemed to me I couldn't use it in the radio I was planning on using it in, so this would be a good candidate. It's not going to be a high current, so it's not good for an RC car, but it should be enough for this. And it's not super heavy, so I'm hoping by cutting out a bunch of these connectors I'll lose enough weight that adding this little pack, which happens to have a servo style lead on it already, will do the trick. So we'll try it and see. Now I'm a little concerned. This does get relatively warm, the receiver, so whether that's going to draw too much current I'm not sure, but we'll try it and see. Now I've got all this tape on here, which isn't holding very good. The reason for the tape was to block any of the holes, keep extra light from getting in, because you don't want excess light in these things. The darker the better. But this tape wasn't, even though it seems to be sticking, I wasn't too happy with it. I think what I'm going to do for some of it is use some liquid electrical tape, some black, but I don't have any right now. I'm all out, and it's Boxing Day, and the only store in town that would have it is closed. But I can fix that up after. but by pulling this off you can kind of see what I did. I carved these things back so the goggles would fit, and then I used hot glue to stick them in place, and then after the hot glue was stuck, I put some tie wraps on, so it's plenty secure. It's not going anywhere. I think I even have some black silicone I could use to just run a bead in some of these narrower gaps, and that would do the trick, but that's for a different date. Today I'm going to deal with this wiring. First thing I'm going to do is I suspect that the common in all of these are the same, so there should only be 1, 2, 3, 4 wires when I chop this. So here we go, a moment of truth. I'm going to leave it a little bit back in case I want to splice it back together. And let's see if I know what I'm talking about or if I'm full of crap. And I grab a knife and I'll strip this back. I should have actually tested which wire was which, but that's okay. Pretty sure there'll be a black, a red, a white, and a yellow to correspond with the plug ends, but who knows. Boy, if this blade was any sharper, might be able to cut butter with it. So I'm going to use my cable knife instead. This guy is plenty sharp. I want to cut it just enough so I can bend it. Hey, I was right. But I nicked the insulation, so not good. Gotta be careful when you cut this stuff. Just want to nick the insulation, bend it so it breaks, and then off she comes. So I was right. So there's a black, a red, a white, and a yellow. Now, the black and the red should be power, and one of these should be the video input. Now I can't remember which one I used, if it was the white or the yellow. I'm pretty sure it was the yellow, but easy enough to find out. We'll just hook up a signal and see what happens. So now I need to do the same thing for this guy. Now this is an oddball connector or something weird going on, because I have this longer one and it doesn't work. I don't know what the deal is, but it's yellow as the output. So we'll just double check. I've already cut this off once. We're going to use this to make sure that it is indeed the yellow, and then I'll just hook power up to this. So let me get all this squared away so we know which wires we need to hook up to. Okay, I'm going to use my multimeter to do a little investigation. If you don't have a multimeter, you should grab one. They're very handy. They're not that expensive for a basic one. You can use it for quite a bit of stuff. Now what I'm going to do with it is these RCA style connectors, the center is your signal and the outside is usually ground. So I'm going to assume, because this has a red lead on it, that that's going to be my center pin. So I've got my multimeter set to beep when there's a short. Oh, sorry. Gotta press a button first. That means there's continuity. And look at that. Never assume, because you know what they say when you assume. The red tracer is on the outside. So if I take this guy, hook it up to this guy, which is my cable that goes into my transmitter. Sorry, I keep calling it transmitter, receiver. And go into the AV out. I can still use my cable to power it. Get her some juice. I've got a XT60 connector on here for now, so I can just use any of my 3-cell packs. Plug her in. Red light means she's working. Here's the output. Now what I need to do is get some power on these wires, and then I can make sure I've got my right connections. Another useful tool you do wiring and that, is these electrician snips. They're very nice for cutting wire and stripping and that sort of thing. Probably should have stripped this back a little further. I don't know if you can see very well here, but there. Ground is... Now I'm going to take a guess. I was pretty certain it was yellow. So let's get my power. Gotta feed power into this sucker. I've got some alligator clips I can use to power this. What I really should be powering it with instead of a battery. Kind of hard to... No, I guess I can do it. Let's just... we'll get her. We'll figure it out. In this case, this barrel connector, the center is positive and the outside is negative. But I don't know if I have a way of connecting power to it. Just let me figure it out and I'll be right back. Okay, instead of using my LiPo pack, I'm just using a couple leads with alligator clips right there, if you can see. And I gotta be careful. Powering it right from my power supply. Now what I need to do is still feed power to the receiver. See, I call it receiver this time, not transmitter. Which will be this wire. It's going to be kind of tricky. How can I do this? Sorry folks, this is a bit of a... haven't done a video for so long, I'm kind of bit of a cluster here. Okay, so I want to have a common ground between them. So I'll use this lead, plug it into my 12 volt source. This has got an XT60 on it, but it's the wrong gender. But alligator clips, I can make her work. I think I've got some gender changers here. How can I do it? I'll just clip it on. What the heck. Alligator clips. And I can just go to this guy and just positive and negative into it. So now my transmitter should be lit up once I flip this switch. Sorry, receiver. Red light's on. Now, as soon as I plug my board camera in with my little funky special lead I made to be able to plug into a balance lead, just make sure you plug her the right way around or she'll blow up. There we go. I should have a picture in there once I hook up my video in. So I'm going to turn this off. I know my arm's in the way. Not very well organized today. Twist these together. The grounds. Hook up my negative lead. Let's see if the magic smoke comes out. Now this is hooking up. You can see in there. Hook up to the yellow. There we go. It's the yellow wires they feed. You can see the picture in there, right? So that's the one we use. Good first guess. Get this and unplug all that junk. Unplug the power to the receiver. So now what my plan is, I'm using these 3 wires. Get rid of the white one. I'm just going to leave it tied back. I'm not going to cut it off because it's going to get too short. And let's see here. I've got some servo extension leads, some longs and some shorts. I think I'm almost out of the short ones, but that's okay. So I got some of these guys. I'm going to connect it onto here. So that plugs in like that. And then the connector that comes out of here, where did I throw it? This guy. Same idea. I'm going to chop all this crap off. And how should I do this? Should I have 2 servo leads coming off of here? Well, let me think about this for a while and I'll get back to you. I'll either get her done and show you what I did, or show you doing it. Actually, no, I'm just going to do it and I'll show you what I did, and then there's no point in you seeing the process of me building here. So just hold tight and you'll see the final result here shortly. Okay, I got most of the wiring done. I figured I'd show you what I did before I button everything up. It was actually, I don't know, I was overthinking it a bit, but I don't know, can you see? I just kind of spliced everything together. Here's the power connector for the receiver. The yellow is the video feed. It's a little bit long, but then the red is power spliced together for power. Nothing on the Ascend yet, but that's to come, but I figured I'd show you this first. And then shield on one connector and all the blacks for ground. So I've got this extra heat shrink here. Just going to shrink it over. Now I'm not going to pre-test this beforehand, so when I fire it up, you'll be seeing it when I see it, see if I did it right. So let me finish up. I've also decided I'm going to, instead of, oh boy, that's a little bit short, but bummer. Oh well. I'm going to put, where are they here? Alright, here. Instead of using the servo connector, hence the chunk of cable here, I'm going to use, I don't even know if you can get these little guys anymore, but some of these micro Dean connectors, so I'll have to change it on the LiPo. So let me finish up and then we'll power it up and see if I screwed up or not. Alright folks, so I've got the stuff wired up here now. Got my battery set up with the micro Deans. Now the way I wire these micro Deans is because there's no real positive or negative like the other Deans. So what you do is on your battery side, you hook your positive wire up to the socket and the negative up to the pin, and that makes sure that there isn't a positive voltage on this pin sticking out, and that could cause you problems if it's floating around and touching stuff. So now I'm going to hook everything up, and I haven't done this yet, so I'll be doing it at the same time as you guys are watching. So I'm going to hook up my pin, positive and negative, to my balance lead on my battery. Red light's on, so she's transmitting. And I'll see if I can get this so you can either see the footage of, you can see it work, or you can see the smoke come out. One of the two. I'll just throw my toque under there for now. You should be able to see it. So, like I say, I haven't hooked this up yet. If all is correct, as soon as I hook this battery up, she should light up and should get a signal from the camera. Voila, what do you see, guys? Look at that. There you go. It worked. Worked a treat. If I do this, you'll be able to see, can you see yourself in the goggles? I don't know. But yeah, that worked out great. I'm happy. So now, all I have to do is, I'm going to clip off these extra wires here, because I don't need them. And I'm going to tie this up a little bit, and see if I got some Velcro. This battery's going to get stuck on top. Lead will come around and hopefully be the right length. Sure enough, it reaches. And that'll be a nice compact setup. Not as compact as some Dominator goggles or anything like that, but including this battery, which I bought for another project that didn't work out with. I think these I got for $30 or something like that. Had connectors. Bought this and all this. I don't know what I have into this. Maybe $110 somewhere in there, which isn't too bad. So next step is to, like I say, try to fill all this in, try that other tape, but I'm not going to bother videoing in that. But next video will hopefully be, or I should say next video on this stuff will hopefully be some actual FPV flying. I'll probably hook up my GoPro along, or I've even got just a keychain camera and hook it up to something and do some driving recording and have a little bit of fun with this stuff. But in any case, until then, take care and talk to you later.